In this clip, we are going to take a look at material organization and asset management. So it's really important when importing a complex scene into Unity that the assets are hooked up correctly. So let's take a look at the green slate wall over here and just color pick this guy. And in the material editor, so we can press M on the keyboard to bring this up quickly, we can see that the materials are named appropriately. So for the sake of consistency, it's certainly well worth using the same naming convention in Max as we do in the Unity materials. So in this material, we can see we got it called green slate. We got the diffuse color, a specular color, and the bump. So diffuse color will eventually become albedo inside Unity. Specular color should become smoothness and metallic, and bump will become normal. So long as these guys are connected properly, they should filter through nicely into the Unity standard shader. If this isn't the case, we can reconnect these textures to the Unity standard shader once imported into Unity. Okay, so that's the materials. It's quite a simple thing. So let's just move on to the asset management. So I'm just going to pull up the Scene Explorer now and just show you guys the overall projects view. So inside Unity, Pluralsight Unity projects here, we can see that we have the interior scene folder and a Max files folder. So inside the Max files folder, I have models and textures in here. So I'm just keeping things really simple. So in models, we have every single model associated with the scene. So we can see here we've got the wall mirror and table style 1 and a bunch of other things. And let's pull up the actual final scene. We can see here that we have the, for example, this is chair style 1. This is table style 1 just over here. And we've got the ceiling fan here just over here. So eventually these will be filtered through into Unity. And in the later lessons, we're going to see how to do that exactly. Again, in the Max Files folder, we have a Textures folder. And inside here, we have the original PSDs. So these are the editable textures. So I highly recommend keeping a PSD version of every single texture that you create. And the saved result of the PSD is the TGA folder. So in here, we should have a list of TGAs and some JPEGs in here. So for example, we can see we've got the table style 1.tga. So in some cases, the TGAs do actually have alpha channels, and that's going to be used for the PBR style shaders in Unity. So we're going to run through exactly how to author these PSDs correctly so that we get the correct result in Unity using the PBR workflow. Okay, so we're going to take a quick look at the Unity projects. So on the interior scene, this is actually the Unity project. So inside here, we've got the standard Unity hierarchy of folders and files here. Inside assets, this is the folder that contains every single asset in the scene. And inside prefabs, we're going to be exporting each of our objects into the prefabs folder. So for example, the Unity interior scene just behind us here, this will be imported into assets. So if we just scroll down here, we can see interior.fbx. So this is actually our interior scene inside Unity. And this is around 4 megabytes. So that's a pretty good file size. So we're keeping things really kind of simple here. So essentially we have our master 3ds Max project. And then we have our kind of 3ds Max files that contain each of our features of the room. And eventually these will be instanced around the Unity projects to save on not only file size, but this is a real massive performance increase, and it also makes things much more editable. So for example, I could go ahead and edit a chair or a table inside 3ds Max, and inside Unity it would actually update each of the assets. For example, if we just have a look again at the final results, we can see here these chairs have been instanced around along with the tables. So this just means that if I wanted to go ahead and change this table or chair, I only have to change it once, and hey presto, in Unity, it will update every single instance inside the scene. So that's a real nice workflow win as well as performance. So that's a quick look at how to organize our materials and assets for production. and import into Unity from 3ds Max.